So hi, Dr. Paul here. So I wanted to talk to you again. I've talked about this before. A lot of people out there who, I get a lot of comments, a lot of negative comments about people who really don't believe in what I do. And I understand that's fine. You have that's your right. But you know what? You know what I don't know how to do? I don't know how to be an electrician. You know, if I have an electrical problem, I'm not going to mess with that. I'm not going to electrocute myself. If I had a problem, I'm going to call an electrician. I don't know how to do plumbing. My son is a plumber. He's a plumber. He's doing really well. He's a very good plumber. I don't know how to do what he does. Do I know how to be an engineer? No. Do I know how to be a tech person in the computer? No. Do I know AI? No. Do I know how to, be a hairdresser? Do I know how to, no. Okay, what else do I know how to do? Okay, I know how to do my job. But see my point is, people have opinions about things without having really any basis to have that opinion. They have no background to really make that. Now there may be some people out there who have some science background and they might say, well, I'm different because I have some science background. I'm a chemist. I'm a whatever. So I can really interpret what I read, so I can go online. Well, the thing is, online is a bunch of garbage, okay? You're going to read a bunch of garbage about very biased people bringing opinions, or you're going to read about what's FDA approved, and you're going to read a bunch of scary stuff online, and it's just a really bad place to go to get medical information. But a lot of people go there because that's what they do. People go and Google, and they search, and they articles, and they whatever. But at the end of the day, good luck with that. Now, what's my background? Well, I've always been a decent student. I pre-med in college, biology degree, 4 years of medical school, 3 years of residency training before I started practice. So that's a lot of years. And now I've been in practice for almost 35 years now. And I say those things, I'm not saying those things to brag. It's not about bragging. It's about the reality of the fact that, why do I do what I do? I do what I do because I love it, but I do what I do because I've learned how to do it. And it's taken a long time, for me to figure out how to do this. It's not overnight. It's a process. So when I started practice as a family doctor, I wasn't doing this full time. The first decade of my practice, I really started falling in love with it. And after a decade, I decided I want to do this full time and broke away. And I broke away from being a family doctor. So it's taken many, many years of training, of practice. I've written 6 books on the subject over the last 23 years. My last 2 books are coming out within the next month, and we're now in January of 26. So I'll have 6 books, and then. And so what does that mean? It means I put all the time into this because I love teaching. I love talking about the subject. I love answering questions. I love, I just love it. And so I really want to do more teaching in the future to doctors and other, people to try to train them how to do this. But just to kind of put everything into perspective. So if you have the doubts, you can have your doubts, of course, but you try to keep an open mind that maybe there's something here that you don't understand. Maybe there's something that you're not going to figure out online. Maybe it's deeper than that. You're not going to hear things about how I talk about it online. It's all very FDA-approved, government-regulated information, so you can only read. That's why you're going to read about suicide warnings, and you're going to read about all this nonsense that doesn't apply to you, and you're not going to know what's going on. You're going to be afraid, because when they go online, they get afraid because they go, I don't want to take anything, it has all these side effects. Well, when I give medication, my goal is to give you results without side effects. So if side effects are not the goal, and if they get side effects, it's easy. We stop it. We lower the dose. We stop it. We do something. I don't keep you on something if you're going to have side effects, or I add something that takes away the side effects, like Wellbutrin. So it's important to understand with this field that it's not as easy as you think it is. And so if you just kind of keep an open mind, just step back and say, okay, you know what? let me stop the negativity. Let me maybe try to understand the subject better. Maybe, and watch my, again, watch my TV show, the Dr. Paul show, where I sit with people and go over, and I explain, and on the show, I show exactly how I make these decisions based on history. And again, we can only condense so much in a half hour when I've seen them for years and years with multiple dozens and dozens of visits. I can't really always summarize that in a simple form. So anyway, summing it up here, just again, keep an open mind, realize that you don't know as much as you think you know. Maybe step back and say, okay, maybe an expert is a better person to get opinion from than an internet article that I don't understand, or that I think I understand, but you really don't. In the big picture of things. So again, this is a subject it's a lot of nuances, a lot of details, a lot of stuff that goes into this process in making such decisions, which are critical for the quality of life of my patients. And that's what it's all about. My patients, I'm looking for a quality of life and just feeling like themselves again, and that's the goal of treatment. So anyway, I hope that helps.